Tonight on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. We're at V6 Ranch in California, and it's our toughest challenge yet. A 2-day cattle drive across 20,000 acres of wide open hills. It's not gonna be easy, but I'm ready, and we're getting started right now. Welcome to Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. This week, we're in the cowboy side of California at V6 Ranch. The V6 Ranch is basically the town of Parkfield, with a population of 18. It's mostly family and friends who live here, nestled in the Cholame Valley along the San Andreas fault line. Jack Varian owns this place, and he runs it with his children and grandchildren. He's 82 years old and still works harder than most people half his age. Parkfield is usually full of guests here to enjoy the ranch, but this week is the Bluegrass Festival, and this tiny little village is thriving with music lovers from all over the country. But we're not here to party. We're here to move some cattle. Jack makes a living from his stocker operation, and we're moving this grass-fed beef to the next section of the ranch where they will stay and graze for the next few months. We arrive just before sundown, and our adventure begins at the Blue Oak Horse Camp. Who's dishing me up? Tonight I get a chance to hang out with the crew over dinner as they fill us in on what we'll be doing for the next few days. Some are new guests, and some are regulars who come every year. So when you come to this ranch, you can stay in a tent, you can stay in a little cabin, or you can stay right here, in the dining hall, on the floor. See this? Whatever type of camping you want. If you want to sleep in the dining hall and be first in line for breakfast, you can do that here. There's nothing like it. Tomorrow, we're getting on horses, and we're gonna move cattle all the way up the mountain, and we're gonna do it for 2 nights, and we're gonna be sleeping kind of like this, which I think that's kind of cool. The horse camps are primitive, but they do offer a few amenities like hot showers, running water, home-cooked meals. Just don't forget your own camping gear. The next morning, Gary Bolin helps my camera crew get the lay of the land.
This is the most active part of the San Andreas fault line. Well, we had a earthquake this morning at 5. Did you guys feel it? So we have maybe 200 earthquakes a year here, but they're all little shifts. So if you went up on that ridge line, you'd see the U.S. Geological Survey sites have instruments all through there. Even big wells, they've drilled down and they drop cameras down to watch the movement, so because it happens every couple of days.
This cattle drive will cover over 20,000 acres. And we're not just moving a herd. We have to find the cattle, which are spread out in very small groups over the entire ranch.
Where we are right now is here. The black line is the county road. This field is called the slope field. So we have cattle all over this, right? So we're gonna ride up, and what I would recommend to you guys is not follow us up. Give us a little bit of a head start. Okay. But if you take the county road up, it turns into a dirt road. There's going to be probably 2 groups. So I'm going to put a dotted line right there. And I'm going to say the high group is going to come in about there, and the low group is going to come in about here. Okay. You'll think you've gone too far and you're lost. You're only lost if you hit pavement again.
We're meeting up at the lower corral to saddle up, pack a lunch for the day, and prepare for a long ride.
Cows.
A lot of cows. Don't know yet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be fun, and people are super nice here, so I think it's going to be a fun experience.
If you got to take a leak, take a partner with you, because your horse doesn't like being by himself. So when you go to get on, he runs off, and you're left there afoot. We got probably 4 or 5 hours of riding ahead of us. We're going to start gathering on what we call the slope field, and we're going to take the cattle over the top of this mountain into San Joaquin Valley, and then we'll regather them tomorrow, take them on further to what we call the Rambo, and then we'll head for home and should be back here around 3 to 5 Sunday afternoon.
Once we're all ready, we set out into the rolling hills to find a few hundred head of cattle. They're scattered out over 30 square miles. Should be easy.
So there you are. So let's go.
When we come back, the challenge begins, right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. It's a hot day with cold winds at V6 Ranch, and we're headed out to search for hundreds of steers and heifers roaming this 20,000 acres of property.
Here we go.
Something Jack has done for over 50 years. Why did you go into the dude ranching business?
I went in to survive
Okay.
because the cattle business was only good for one living. My wife and I have been here 56 years, and the cattle business has kept us paying the bills, having a good life. The more fields you have, the better, because the better job you could do of managing your grass. And that's
How
what
many
it's all
cattle do you have out here right now? Do you know?
Oh, about 900.
Collecting these animals is a challenge. They love playing hard to get and find plenty of hard places for us to reach.
Okay, everybody going my way, let's go.
We're going to split into 2 groups to cover more ground and try to find more cattle. So Jack has just instructed a couple of the guys to go over there because we saw 3 heads of cow, and they're going to kind of slowly push them this way, and everything we see is we're just going to keep pushing them uphill.
What's discouraging sometimes is when you ride up like this and you've been looking for cattle and then you see 10 or 12 behind you.
Boy, these animals are stubborn, and they're definitely giving me a run for my money.
So we're going to stop and eat lunch, and I think they're going to drift on to the east, and that's where we want to go. So we will probably regather them here in another half hour or so.
Our first break is for lunch at a nearby watering hole. Jack built these watering holes at certain spots on the property for this purpose: to rest and water the horses, to let the herd settle down, and to give the dogs a place to cool off.
So logic would tell you that water would flow downhill, that we'd have the most water in the bottom of the valley, but on the hillside here is our most productive spring on the ranch, flows year-round, and even after the middle of a 5-year drought, it's still producing good quality water.
Well, after a quick meal, we get back in the saddle and back to work. These hills offer a great view of the rolling horizon, allowing the team to spot various pockets of cattle on the range.
Get them out! Get them out, Bear!
When the terrain gets a little too tough for the horses, the dogs spring into action, and they do an amazing job, which saves us a few hours of climbing up and down these hills. These dogs are amazing. And the cool thing about the dog is he only listens to his owner. It's amazing. He goes, get them out. They go in there, they round them out, and they're out in 2 seconds. Stuff we can't get to. These dogs play a major role in this game. They are very well trained and respond on command when needed.
Now stay behind! Hey, behind! Easy! Tilly says, okay, that's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Sometimes it can take about 4 or 5 trips before every head of cattle is accounted for. And even then, a few still manage to slip by. Well, we've got a lot of them collected, and we begin to trek up the mountain. How many guys do you usually take out here when you want to put all your cattle in another place?
Well,
Drive them up?
normally we used to take, but we'd cover more country than we did today. We would take 25 people, but 3 groups of 8. Like there was 4, let's see.
2 groups of 6?
Yeah, and but it's better, works better for me when we take more country and have more people.
Yeah.
We still, everybody gets an experience, but instead of just taking say the north slope field, we'd have carried the south along with it.
We're finally approaching the Mustang camp at the top of the hill, and just in time. The sun will be going down soon, and the horses had enough for today.
I'm gonna rinse the sweat off my baby.
Look at the dog. Somebody squirt the dog. Juan Legarita is not only the guide for my camera crew. This week, he is also the grill master, and he's put some baby back ribs on the fire that are just to die for. While dinner is being prepared, the gang gets settled into camp. They've packed their own tents, but Jack put me in one of their fancy glamping tents, complete with a soft bed.
Checking out my accommodations for the night.
Looks pretty comfortable. Looks like it's gonna keep the bugs out. Wow. This is pretty nice. A few of the guys show off their roping skills while we're waiting for dinner. We don't really need to rope any of the cattle for this job, but they keep their skills sharp just in case. Wow, dinner is finally ready, and we eat like kings. The night is young, and we're worn out. So we sit around enjoying the fire, sharing some stories from the day under this beautiful, brilliant, starry sky. Well, it's time for bed, but we've got a lot more work to do tomorrow. We're only halfway done. So stick around, right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. Our next morning on the Upper Horse Camp at V6 Ranch is a cold one. The early morning fog whips over the hilltops in the open valley. It's beautiful, but freezing. We eat a hot breakfast before getting saddled up. It's going to be another really long day, and we have to reach our destination with as many heifers as we can find.
The plan today is to regather the cattle that we got put into the Fresno field yesterday, and then we're going on about a couple hours on to the east and leave the cattle on what we call Rambo Ridge. And then we'll come back and eat some lunch and then go on again this afternoon for those that want to go on again. There's never a shortage of riding around here.
We get saddled back up and head into the wild once more to begin our work. We moved a little over 100 yesterday, and I guess there's a few more out there, like 900. See what we can do.
The second day's better because you're already familiar with the horse, and you can enjoy it more, and you can ride a little easier.
This job requires a lot of patience and waiting at strategic locations. The more we get split up and take our key positions along the route, our horses get a little bit of separation anxiety.
So we've got 3 groups of cattle in. We've got this group coming up the trees, or coming down through the trees down the road here. We've got a group here. We've got one set of people that are down here, and they're gonna push these guys out and meet these. We had another third set down near another lake. He's going down to help them because they only have 3 people. We're gonna try and hopefully push them all together, and then we bring them straight down this road. That's the plan. We'll see how that actually happens. They're pushing them up from the other side. Always try to think of anywhere they might like to go. And like that's the hard part when you bring them down this road. They've got that whole ridge there. And going downhill obviously is easier than going uphill. And that's kind of learning, and then learning them, seeing where their eyes are, seeing where they're looking, where they might jet. And they'll go through solid brush. The stuff they'll go through for safety is amazing. We were just talking about that, the thickest, nastiest, you'd never think of walking in there, they'll just go dive into it. They just don't care, they just want to get away.
Like cattle, horses are pack animals, and they never wanted to be separated too far from their pals. Like this guy keeps calling out to his buddies, waiting for them to catch up.
And all this one knows is that his friends aren't around and he's waiting for someone to answer him. There's horses right up there. What are you worrying about? Come on. A lot of people want to bring their horses up to ranches like this and like, oh, well, I ride, a couple hours a day. We'll be out, we were out 5-6 hours yesterday. So these guys will get ridden all the time.
Well, we're getting close to our final destination. We haven't found as many as expected, and we have lost a few along the way, but we've got quite a few of them ready to move to their final spot. Oh, so much fun. And at one point we got super lucky because all of the cows that we thought we had lost collected back to where we were pushing them up. So we got all of them. How about that? The last stretch is a bit challenging. There's a lot of different directions the herd can go, and every little thing can spook them. Even a camera behind a tree can seem threatening and send them into a totally wrong direction. But once they're back on track, they can move into their final spot, Rambo Field, named after the original property owner. Well, it's been 2 grueling and exciting days, but we finally finished the job. The herd is now where they're going to be for the next few months, until winter, and then we'll have to bring them right back down the mountain. If you've never done a cattle drive, I think it's something that you should check off your bucket list because it's fun, it's exciting, it's kind of harder than you think, and this place has showers, which is unlike a lot of places where you're just living in a sleeping bag on the floor. We actually had beds, we had hot coffee this morning, and I think I took a 45-minute shower last night, so it's roughing it, but not really roughing it. So if you're gonna do it, I think this is a good one to do. Wow, it's such a great feeling of accomplishment that I've done this. We head back to camp for dinner and a musical show. There's nothing like singing songs around the fire after a long day. When we come back, we're going to get into the corral for a little cutting, right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup. Now that we have most of the herd moved to Rambo Field to graze for the next few months, we decide to have a little fun at camp.
Right now we're to have a contest because I'm going to call out, okay, I want you to sort 2 black ones and a white one. That's what they're trying to do, is leave enough color in the cattle and also to settle them so they aren't just going crazy running through fences. Okay, so they got them pretty well settled, and you'll be able to see what we're going to do next.
Sorting cattle is necessary to single out certain animals. It's also not easy, but with a little practice, you can get it down to a science.
That's time.
Today we'll be breaking into teams of 3 to see who can do it the fastest. It's about patience and strategy when making these moves.
Every person has to do each position once. If that doesn't happen, you gotta end up with all 3 in the alley and the rest of your cattle back here. All right, we're gonna start off the 27th annual B6 Ranch Rodeo. Who's our first team? We got Scott, who's no stranger to cattle, going in first. He's looking for his buddy. He's eyeing, and I don't see any reds.
Black, a red, and a white.
Black, a red, and a white. He's got the whole rainbow. Now they got it. They're doing a nice transition. Gary's going right in. Greg's going up to the gate. Scott will watch the alley. Look at Gary. Woo! Now Greg's moving in, taking it. Gotta have Scott up at the gate. Oh, he's got his eye on the prize. They're setting a standard. Gary fell off the alley. Uh-oh. This is a lesson in why we drive him down the alley.
Time.
No, he's not in yet.
Time. Okay. 1:26.
1:26. They're setting a high standard from the beginning. That's why we're the talkers, not the sorters. Jolly Ranchers are heading off. Up, 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 up. No, Jiminy Crickets. What do we want?
Solid red.
blacks and a red.
Spot. Go ahead, Jerome.
One.
And you're going to get a black or a red.
Okay.
There you go, Jerome. Go right.
Good. Hey, hey. Back.
It might help you to hold one hand on the reins. There you go, like that, okay?
Yeah.
Now try steering them a little bit like that. There you go. Now just work with what you got here, you guys. Come on out here, Charles. And you're going to keep one black one. And just get one black one to go in the alley first. There you go, good.
Okay, so that was a 211.
We are Greg and his angels. And then we're going to be Charlie and his angels. Go.
Take them all over the gate.
Hey, hey.
You got this, Trish.
Hey, hey, hey.
Seconds.
Wow, our team got 39 seconds. I think it's safe to say we're the winners this time. Before we head home, we're going to swing by the Bluegrass Festival in Parkfield to relax and enjoy some great music. A perfect way to wrap up our time here. Wow, the V6 Ranch gave me a great chance to experience a hard-working ride. We had to head 'em up, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, and it was worth every minute. All right, that's it for this week, so until next time, keep them doggies moving. And we'll see you again, right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup.
Yeah.
When you're ready to book your Dude Ranch vacation, visit our website for more information. And don't forget to tell them you saw it right here on Debbe Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup.